Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We're also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebartogo.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss using the ABV Network as your personal amusement park. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Steinkamp, Jeff and and Darren McElroy.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Howdy.
Hey,
y'all.
Hey now. We're going to be talking about this concept, using it as your personal amusement park. We'll define exactly what that is. You'll know all about it as we come in after the break. But for right now, Steinkamp said there's something you want to talk about. What is that, Steinkamp?
I do. Now, this has been skirted around a couple times with spirit animals and other things, but which unconventional animal do you wish you could have as a pet?
As a pet.
As a pet.
I'll go
Like,
first.
does it need to be a real animal that exists in real
Yeah,
life?
not like a dragon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that's something
Could
we
you
got.
have something like a
I have
narwhal?
to change my answer now.
I knew that Darren was going to go with something fucking weird, so that's why I had to ask.
right.
I am
So-
going with something weird.
Real animal.
I would want an orangutan as a pet. I love them.
Oh,
They're fantastic.
God, what a fucking horrible choice.
I know it will probably kill me, but
For him, it's perfect. There'll be days I'll pop it. Like I popped in the ABV Barrel Shop today. I guarantee you, he gets a pet orangutan. I'll come up to the store. That thing will be running the store. Darren will be taking the day off. Yeah, and I won't even really know the difference. I'll walk in and be like, "Hey, Darren."
The customer service might be better.
So what's great is Jim pulled out the left turn Clyde the other night.
Uh-huh.
And Darren had no idea what he was talking
Of course,
about.
no.
Right.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah. Where do you think Darren's...
Becca, do you know what that means? Left turn Clyde?
Honestly, I don't know that one.
Okay.
see, it's not all people that know that. It's just
It might be
Old people.
maybe it's a St. Louis thing.
No.
Because I've
it's
never
not.
heard that. No?
like a Clint Eastwood.
If Jeff,
movie or something.
if Jeff
Okay.
says,
Yeah, Clint
Clint
Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood movie.
Every which way but loose. He had a
And
pet orangutan.
even Any Which Way You Can. There was which was a bad sequel, by the way. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Probably
If
a
he wanted the
70s
orangutan to
70s
punch
movie.
somebody, he'd say left turn Clyde. And Clyde was the orangutan, and then he signal left turn and punch him. There you go.
Yeah. Well, bunch. Well,
yep, I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
no.
And I'm pretty good at knowing a lot of that stuff. And I
You
did not
you know some things. Where do you think you begin to pop culture? Would you say you're strong in pop culture, Becca? What would be the year if you had to say a year?
I'd
say for me, so I was born in 68. I say I'm strong in pop culture from 1965 on forward. I would say most things that were popular, again, because you pick up some of it for me even before you're born, because we watch, we didn't have 100 TV channels, so everything that was good on TV ends up going into syndication, and you would watch. So I would say 65 on forward, I'm pretty solid at. The times were different. I don't think that you watch the old TV shows like you used to then. Certainly some of the big ones like your Seinfelds and that, yes, they stick around. But for the most part, things that are no longer first run are just gone these days.
mine's weird because I've watched all the Road 2 movies and like Abbott and Costello. Like I watched all that stuff.
That's good.
I
That's
watched
good.
Awesome.
like all the really old Godzillas, like the old Godzillas
That's the ones I like to
that
watch
you
too.
can't even like find really anymore with like Mothra, where
Yeah,
like that
Mothra.
wasn't even like until the newest few people didn't even like realize that was a thing, or at least like younger people
Right.
didn't. So like I've watched a lot of stuff, and it's just because my grandfather's always been old.
Right.
And so I think my mom maybe watched a lot of stuff that like he watched, and like I don't know, I'm like it's not like my parents are super old, just we watched a lot of older things growing up.
Yeah.
So mine's very broad, but it's not specific. So like there's stuff like that you guys just said. I didn't know that, but I've seen a lot of like John Wayne movies. I've seen like almost all of those, and like
Because your grandfather.
well, I think my parents liked all that stuff. I don't know.
Parents,
We just watched everything.
Yeah. I bet you Darren's point of reference starts around
Like 2005.
Something
I wouldn't say I know anything about pop culture. This is not.
Okay. That's true. That's true.
And
I thought you were going to
maybe
just
in
leave
the
it with,
last
I don't
5
think I
years
know
can pull
anything.
something out of
And
my
I was
ass,
like, yeah.
Pretty accurate. There's Steinkamp. Here's one that'll blow your mind. As a St. Louis guy, you're the only as somebody who's my era. Darren's
Older
a St. Louis
St.
guy.
Louis,
Yeah,
yeah.
an older St. Louis guy.
And
I'm older than you. But when I was a little kid, when I was 4 years old, 5 years old, there was an old man on TV named Ted Drews who sold ice cream that did his own commercials. And here we are today. I go all the way through adulthood. I become an old man myself, and Ted Drews is still around, still has that goddamn ice cream.
I know who Ted Drews is.
Really?
Yeah, okay. I'm telling you, he was the age that he is now back in 1974. Yeah.
So Ted Drews is the Dick Clark of frozen yogurt.
yeah. Frozen custard.
yogurt.
Frozen custard.
Custard,
Yeah,
yeah,
custard.
And that's a St. Louis thing?
That's a St. Louis thing. Yeah.
Oh yes.
It's the greatest stuff in the world. If you ever come here, and this guy, he was before anybody else. Now, because that goes back to the 50s, I think, maybe the 40s. I don't know. My parents used to go there on dates. His dad started it, and his dad lived a long life. And then he's, of course, in his 90s now. He's lived a very long life, and so it's only second generation business, but it's been around forever. And he had opportunities to franchise this thing, and now we have a bunch of custard stands in St. Louis. But he could have had these all over the country, but he didn't want to do that. He wanted to stick with just what he could manage. So he never grew the business, which is pretty wild to think about. He could be a billionaire at this point, but I think he did okay though.
I don't think he's hurting for money.
I don't think Ted's hurting for money.
First store opened in 1930.
1930. Yeah.
Yeah, on
so there you
Natural
go.
Bridge Road.
Open forever. Open
That's
forever.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. When you think about only second generation, it's kind of like Heaven Hill. Heaven Hill, I guess, officially has transitioned to the third generation now. Max's kid, his daughter's running it, and her husband, his son-in-law. So they're running it. But Max is still there and working it. And until recently, he was the guy in charge. So, and that started, of course, after Prohibition, right after Prohibition. So.
Right. Ted Drews Sr., it's Junior that you and I know.
Correct.
Ted Drews Sr. was a big tennis player, won the Muni Tennis Championship from 1925 to 36. So he got all his money.
He's
Start
a tennis
the
guy.
Frozen custard.
Yeah, get into frozen custard. There you go.
Good thing to get into. Frozen custard.
Yeah. So, Darren, did you say your animal, whatever?
Orangutan.
Orangutan.
I'm the only one that's answering.
Yeah, he's always the only one.
I know. We haven't
spun
lost
out.
track. Yeah. All right.
I'd long forgotten the question.
All right. Yeah. Becca, what animal would you have if you could
Mine's a
have
possum.
a possum? Yeah. There you go.
We can get that arranged. We can make that happen.
Yeah, he didn't say it was an unattainable
Right.
thing. He just said like a weird pet, right?
Unconventional was the
Unconventional.
specific
Yeah,
word.
unconventional.
So why?
Like, that's an unconventional. Why? Because they're adorable.
And they're awesome.
Yeah, they're great little. They're snuggly and they have little hands.
Your little
Did
hands.
you say possum or opossum?
Opossum. Although
It's
possums,
pronounced possum. It's
opossum in
Even
America.
opossum is problem,
Opossum in America.
but it's pronounced possum.
Opossum is in America and a possum is in Australia. Arguably, I would say the possums are cuter, but I like the American marsupial.
I would agree.
They're different?
Yes.
Yes.
One
They
is
are
like
two
a cute little
completely
baby
different
thing,
animals.
and then the other one has
one
sharp
is like
teeth.
big eyes and like look just like you little possum. And the other one's like, I'm an opossum. And I want that one.
That's the official definition right there.
Oh, yeah. Those are very different.
Yeah. We actually, we went and Royce is trapping or trying to trap a groundhog or woodchuck, whichever you want to call it. It's the same thing, by the way.
They don't woodchuck.
And he is,
or whistle pig, you can call it.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Whistle pig's the same thing.
But he's only caught so far a raccoon and a possum. And so we went out there to go put some different bait in there, which apparently groundhogs really like cantaloupe. So we put some cantaloupe in the trap. And in the trap was a opossum. And so we had to go get him, go let him go out in the woods. And Royce is like putting his gloves on. I am in my pajamas with slippers on, no gloves. And I just grabbed the cage and Royce is putting his gloves on and like getting ready. I grab the cage and just like walk out into the trees and just open it up. I'm like, oh, okay. And Royce is like, oh, okay. And he did the same thing with the coon. He was like,
well, those things are mean. The raccoons.
Yeah.
That's why you don't fucking just let it go with nothing to go to. If you let a raccoon go right by a tree, the first thing he's going to do is run to the tree. Right. He's not going to run to you. He wants to go straight out of the tree and get the fuck away from you, which is exactly what happened. Royce was like, I'm going to have to get a gun in case he attacks. I'm like, you don't need he's not going to attack. He's this big. He's terrified. He's going to go for the tree. And Royce is like, going to get a gun. I just go and open it up. Oh, guess what? He ran to the fucking tree.
Okay.
Because that's what they're going to do.
All right. Jeff?
So I just got to deal with
a hard life trap, huh?
Yeah. What would be your animal?
Mine would be, I think, a bobcat.
A bobcat.
Cute.
So it's a feline. It's small but powerful.
It's a good pick.
That is a good pick.
It's a really good
I think that would be, it'd have to be something along those lines. I still wouldn't probably try to pet the thing.
Oh, yeah, you would, sure.
If it was,
do you have regular cats? Do you have regular cats?
Not at my place. Eventually, we probably will, but no.
Yeah. If you've had cats, which I've had cats my whole life. I don't have a cat now, but I've always had a cat up until a couple of years ago. While different size, and you know a lot about their behaviors and things like, because all cats. If you study cats, you look at cats. And I'm talking lion all the way down to your house cat. A lot of the mannerisms, a lot of the behaviors are exactly the same. So if you know how to handle a house cat, again, I'm saying there's precautions you should.
You give them a cardboard box, and they'll be happy as can be.
But if you give them a cucumber, you're going to scare them.
Oh yeah, this is true. This is true.
Things that they like and things they don't.
Yeah. I'm just always fascinated to watch, tigers or lions, their behaviors and see, well, that's no different. He's doing the same shit my cat did. This is crazy. If I could have any pet, I'm not really into pets at this point, but the one that I think is low maintenance and would be fun would be one of those giant tortoises. The ones that look like Volkswagen Beetles moving around. I would like to have one of those because I think it would be relatively easy to take care of, would be rewarding. It would be fun. It would be fun. That'd be a cool.
You'd have to put them in the will because they live forever.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, over 200 years.
Yeah. So Cat would have to have a tortoise.
Well, what I would do is
SNL skit about it.
Well, I would leave a nice inheritance to the turtle. I could be like, well, you can get rid of the turtle or the tortoise.
But he has all the money.
But he's got the money, and he's paying you a salary to take care of him. If you'd like to go ahead and get rid of him, that's fine. His next owner then gets that salary.
It's that salary. That's how it works. Sorry.
The turtle is paying you to take care of him. So you can decide if that's not for you. That's okay. By the way, he offers a pretty nice 401k too. So.
I can help with all this.
Yes. There you go. There you go. Awesome. All right. Steinkamp, what would be your animal?
I think I'm getting a sloth.
The sloth. Oh.
Yeah, a sloth.
I like sloths. Yeah, they're interesting. Easier to take care of than you think of. They like to climb something and primarily would sit up there. They come down to take a shit. They don't shit. Yeah. They shimmy down the tree to go take a shit and then they head back up.
What a terrible idea. like you're really slow and like anything could catch you and kill you, and you're just gonna be like, well, I don't know, I just feel really uncomfortable about pooping from a tree, so I'm just gonna climb down and maybe die because I really don't want to take a poop from a tree. So it's not gonna affect me at all.
I think they're worried about the cleanliness
leaves up there
issue.
to wipe your butt if that's what they're into, but I mean,
they're like, You know what? You don't shit where you live. They live by that thing. They
They're
climb down
eating
the
all
tree.
those eucalyptus leaves up there, or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's a koala bear.
That could be.
Yeah.
They also have chlamydia.
Koala bears have chlamydia. Maybe
sloths
sloths do too.
anymore.
I don't know, but I know koala bears definitely have chlamydia.
Sloths don't. Koalas do.
Oh, it's okay.
Nah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Koalas like scream, don't they? Or they go,
No, it's more like
they
a
make
scream,
weird sounds.
from what I've heard.
It's like weird
They
sounds.
just
The more I
always
look
look
at
tired to
koalas,
me.
actually, the more I
Koalas
do
just need
not
a
like
nap.
them.
The
The more I look at them, the more I'm just like, they're creepy, ugly little.
And they're
fuckers.
vicious, actually.
Yeah, they're mean.
Oh, nice. Yeah, sloth could be vicious, but they move so slow you don't have to worry. I'm gonna hit you in the face with this 2 toes.
It's the 3-toed ones you have to watch out for. Those fuckers are dangerous.
There you go. Fair enough. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? We're gonna start with Beka. Beka, what do you got?
I have got another sample of one of our upcoming old Jet Brothers. Another of the exact same thing I just had before, just a different barrel and a little bit higher proof. 112 on this one. So a toasted high rye bourbon that entered into a new toasted French oak barrel.
Okay.
Sample bottle.
She's working while she's podcasting. She's
She
taking
is.
notes. And
What I'm
is.
claiming, anyways.
Darren, what do you got?
I have the world famous double single barrel from Lux Row.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's the lead. That's as sad as that is. That's our lead right now. All right, Steinkamp, what do you got?
Buzzard Roost, jar number 1 rye.
Oh, nice.
nice.
Darren still has the lead. That wasn't not enough there.
No.
All right, Jeff,
agreed.
you're next.
Agreed.
I have a bottle of Mash Build, the Justine Mays Blend number 1. It's a syndicate bottle numbered 92 of 102.
Okay. Oh, that was solid. That was solid. That was so good. I'm gonna change the game plan. I'm gonna go with a bottle of Planters. I'm gonna go with the Planters. I think I got a winner there, but I'm gonna save that because I don't.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Let's see on the Planters. Here we go. Swide on the set. Nothing.
Nope.
As planned. Yeah, the Planters ones don't have great cork pop, so the first one's okay, and then it goes downhill. So that's it. Jeff wins again. Cheers, gang.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about the ABV Network as your personal amusement park. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com.
I'm McNew, and you're listening to the Bourbon Daily, home of the hiccup cures.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about the ABV Network as your personal amusement park.
Yes, we are. This happens out there. So people, sometimes it's just wearing gear. Katie Joyce likes to tell a story. Her boyfriend was wearing an ABV Network hat. Lisa Wicker sees them on a tour, pulls them aside, brings them in their office. Then she shows them around because they are ABV Network, crew members. They're friends of mine. So Lisa Wicker, great friend, and she did that. I also like to say that my sister-in-law, so my wife's sister, her husband, the parents of her husband, love to go on distillery tours, and they always throw my name out and get some VIP treatment. So it can be done. And I know Beka certainly sees that from kind of the other perspective. Yeah. People come in and be like, I'm with the ABV Network, and she always treats them well. They get VIP treatment just coming through and visiting and being listeners of the show and that type of stuff. Right, Beka?
Oh, yeah. If they come in and, just say they listen to the show, maybe they're not even part of like the crew club or anything. Mm-hmm. My buddy Joe over in Belgium, he came in and he told one of the guys that he loves listening to the show. And he came back and got me. And I was like, yeah. And I gave him a tour and we tasted a bunch of stuff and had a great time. And
it's not bad, right?
Like that's if someone comes in and tells me that, or tells not so much our guys that. Like our guys will be nice, but they're not going to do anything special necessarily for them.
Right.
If I'm in there, then like generally I'll comp their tour. Not always. So don't only do that.
Wow.
And that does not mean you get a comp tour, but sometimes you might. But yeah, you definitely get kind of more of a VIP-ness back there at the distillery if you show up and just say that you listen to shows or you're part of the ABV Network or anything like that.
It helps.
If you bring me flowers, which I know I've said before that I'll say stuff about it. But sometimes people bring me stuff and that always helps as well. Just
bring Beka flowers.
What kind of flowers, Beka? Is there a preference?
Honestly, I don't want to say cheaper the better, but generally cheaper flowers last longer.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some flowers.
Pick some dandelions on my way in next time.
Sure, whatever you want there, Darren. Just remember that will dictate, how things go for you. No, but like these flowers back here, I literally picked them up like the day after Valentine's Day, and they were all like dying, and I even heard some old guys walk by and be like, don't even look at those piece of shit flowers, they're all dying and dead. It's because they were just sitting in like random, they didn't have any like water, and so I bought these for like, I spent $5 on these flowers back here, and I just put them in some water, and now they're beautiful flowers. So I kind of enjoy flowers that will last for a while. Okay. Daisies are always good because they last.
Does Royce buy a lot of flowers?
You're such a jerk, Akeley.
Royce's money buys me flowers.
Is that Neely distillery water in those?
Yes.
Of course.
That's why that's why they're blooming so nicely.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Oh,
but we don't really have like a flower shop nearby, so it's not exactly a easy thing to get flowers right to our house.
Royce and I pretty much
and
have
he
the
doesn't go and it's not like he doesn't go to the grocery store either, which is where I buy pretty much all of my flowers at. So I don't know when he's around somewhere to get some flowers at.
Is that Piggly Wiggly?
Piggly Wiggly.
We do not have a Piggly Wiggly.
Oh. Interesting. Kroger? You got a Kroger?
We do have a Kroger, but it's not
Kroger's
nearby.
Usually big there. Yeah.
Yep.
I see a lot of those in Kentucky.
Yeah.
More so than anything else. I don't know what else is there, but I see Kroger.
Kroger and Aldi and Myers.
Oh, Myers.
Yeah. I don't really go to Myers, but I go to Kroger. I hit the old Krogs. It's pretty
Yeah.
good most of the time.
Well, all right.
I'm a fan. But anyways, yeah, drop some if you name drop. I don't think there's a problem with it either. If you're going into a distillery, especially if
Sure.
it's a distillery that gets talked about and like the maybe
Hey,
the
you
distillers
take your
are
shot.
on often, like
Yeah.
on the shows, or like they're on a lot of like events and stuff like that. I don't think it's wrong to mention it when you go in somewhere. Don't expect
No.
it. Like, don't expect any sort of stuff.
Don't expect anything.
But
Don't expect
if
anything.
it does happen, then why? Like, yeah, that's fantastic. I mean,
It's not a bad thing for us either.
Delaphane
Let me tell you something.
Delaphane
Oh, yeah,
says it to
Delaphane.
everyone.
Yeah, Delaphane has worked a whole career off of
Yeah.
doing that. And you can't complain about it because it's good for our business. It's good for business too. If a distillery starts seeing that, hey, we got a shitload of people from the ABV network coming in, that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. So, and they're not mad about it. They're not, oh man, these ABV network people come in here all the time. No, they're never going to be mad about that. Oh, yeah.
I actually got yelled at because I didn't name drop one time by one Steve Akeley.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I met the nose, and he's like, "Oh, did you tell me you know me?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Why the not? Like,
Yeah.
you could have had a much better day, and
Yeah.
at least
That
told
was a
me
dumb
that you know
play.
me."
I'm good. I know both of those guys very well. Yeah. Yeah. They would know me
Yeah.
by name. So yeah.
Well, Royce told me that everybody knows Steve, and
There you
Steve
go.
knows everybody. So, but so thinking about this question, I wasn't specifically thinking Steve directly, because I certainly have made a lot of contacts through the
Mhm.
network and the crew club, and get to meet a few people personally. Darren most recently, Beka last year, Darren with Royce, and so I think it's some of my own personal amusement just following people on social media and see what the Ewalds are blending up tonight, what drink they're making, things like that. So, but using it for
That's
personal
how I took the
gain,
question too, of like, oh, you get to have fun and go to events, which is a kind of amusement park. It's a distillery amusement park, going to ABV Network events,
Oh yeah.
and just and going to like Key West, going to any of the festival type things that we go to. Sort of maybe not together, but everyone goes and we all get to hang out. And everyone's talking about it. It hypes up an event that everyone's going to. So then everyone just goes, even if it's not an ABV Network event. And so
Yeah.
it kind of turns into a network event because a bunch of us are there.
2024 is shaping up to be our greatest ABV network event year ever. I mean, Key West was a big hit this year, and we've got Bourbon Palooza coming up, and then we've got the train ride coming up, and then we got a Jack Daniels event coming up. We got two things we're working on at Neely's, which are going to be very unique, and then maybe we'll squeeze something else in there too, and then maybe this fall another Bourbon Palooza. So we're busy.
I told
Wow.
Jackie Zycan that we were going on the train ride, and she goes, I've never even done that.
Oh,
Yeah, she should become a crew club member. Well,
And I said,
membership has its privileges.
yeah.
We're going. We're doing it.
I'm
Whole
You should
excited.
train
live a
car.
little.
Whole
I
train
put
car
on
is
my
going to be
hat
fun.
for this
Yeah.
episode.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, I'm pumped about the train ride.
I know everyone. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
It's going to be really fun.
Kaplans are going.
Yeah, it's going to be a good group.
Are my
It's-
in-laws going? Did they get on there?
Yeah, they're in. They're in.
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Say it's going to be. I think it's going to be a blast. I'm super excited.
It's going to be really fun. So, and it's good because we have our own train car, so we don't have to worry about pissing off people who aren't with us or whatever.
Thank
so
God.
we're best off being just together. So
Yeah.
yeah. You put a couple other couples in there with us, especially people that want to ride the train. You do get into some, older people might not like our shenanigans.
We're
and
definitely going to
bubbles
be
and stuff.
annoying.
Yeah, we are going to be.
Let's be
annoying.
fair. Like, we're
Yeah.
annoying.
There's
Just out
got to
of-
be some guy in there who's the bourbon expert. You talk about a shit fucking job for that guy.
Oh.
And this is the guy who gets paid the train money, which I guarantee you they're not hiring the world's greatest bourbon experts. Oh, that could be a rough night for that guy.
Or he'll learn some things. Let me get.
Yeah.
It'd be an educational experience for him.
Yeah.
He'll like Blanton's, I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah. It's a funny situation. There's no hiding any facts. You gotta, definitely. This person doesn't know it yet, but they're gonna have to know their shit. That's for sure. Not that we're not a fun group, but yeah, and we don't care. Just don't try to BS us. So as long as no one's trying to pull the wool over our eyes, as they say, I think we're fine. We're good people.
Well, and there's also like, just not knowing. Sometimes these people, I mean, how many times have you gone to a distillery and the tour guide just like, because a lot, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of times they've been told to say things.
Yeah, they basically have a script. They might not
don't-
be reading a
they
script,
don't
but they're
know
being
that
scripted.
that
Yeah.
they're wrong about something.
Yeah.
Red line.
And
Yeah.
and we need to not be
gonna start
a
calling them
group
out?
that calls anyone out.
Yeah.
No, not red line the distillery. Red line, like every distillery tour you go on tells you the wrong definition of the red line.
Nice save.
And it's like, yeah, that's wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that you were just calling some people out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow,
I have not
Darren,
been to Red
this
I thought he
is,
did
They're
too.
not open
Good
to the
friends of
public.
ours. They're friends of the
Yeah, I was
network.
like,
Yeah.
I thought that we liked them.
They're in the crew club. I'll tell you what, if we would have planned this event just a little bit later, I'm sure Redline would be in it. They like us, so yeah, they like hanging out with us. Yeah. Steinkamp, anything for you on this topic? Anything you want to contribute to the conversation?
So I have I did name drop at Old Herald before we did any ABV things at Old Herald.
Yeah.
And I got a killer tour.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He took real good care of us and gave us several samples, and we had an amazing experience up there. And once he figured out that we kind of knew what we were talking about, then it's a whole different discussion, right? Than just this guy says he knows something about bourbon, but yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. We get that so often. And I finally figured it out. It is the person who comes in and is the bourbon expert, whatever their little world is, they're the expert in their bourbon world. Now that might mean that it's their office of 8 people and they just happen to be a person who drinks bourbon once a month. They're the bourbon expert. Anybody in that office says, we need to know something about bourbon. They go to Ted, the bourbon expert in the office. He might not know shit, but compared to that group, he's the expert. And so he comes in the barrel shop as the expert because that's what he's been told by the group that he hangs out in. And then you quickly realize he doesn't know anything.
So you and I experienced this not long ago. We're sitting in the shop. Guy comes in. Oh yeah, I know a lot about bourbon. You know, I'm the bourbon expert with all my buddies. Blah 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 blah. And all right, well, let me try that. And Steve says, "Well, this is MGP sourced," and he goes, "Who's MGP?"
Yes, yeah.
You suck as a bourbon expert.
Yeah, yeah.
You might be the expert of your 6 friends, but
or in your own basement or whatever.
Yeah. Oh man. But he was a challenge because he knew everything.
Yeah. It's tough it can be tough to be around them because they just think that they know it all because they're the smartest person in the group. So
my best friend Ashley McGee, so she's not in the bourbon world exactly, but she works for a large corporation and she is in sales and she has to go out and talk to customers. And she called me the other day and was like, "Hey, I need to say thank you." And I was like, "For what?" And she's like, "The stuff," she goes, "I know that I am not a bourbon expert." So she is at least good at saying she knows that she is not. She's like, "I know I'm not." She goes, "But I do know quite a bit just being around you for years." And she said that she'll hear that maybe one of her customers likes bourbon or whoever. And so she'll rope it into conversations. And she's like, the amount of times that bourbon is talked about in non-bourbon situations, she's like, is crazy. And it's just like, it's such an easy thing for like, there's so many people that just love it. And it's just booming all over the place, at least up Midwest wise. And she said, it's made her job a lot easier because before it was, oh God, what am I going to talk to this chick about that's trying to sell me stuff? Now she sits there and talks to him about bourbon. She took one of her customers into the store and they were looking at different stuff and she's pointing things out that he should get and stuff he shouldn't get and was explaining things about stuff. So Ashley's using her ABV
bourbon
Network stuff as a tool for work.
It is a great equalizer where you can have an instant bond with a person, no matter what, it can be a frontline worker and the CEO, but if you both happen to drink bourbon, you've got something to talk about. And once you have one thing to talk about, you might find that you have a lot of other things you can talk about as well. So bourbon is a very cool thing in that way. And it's the basis for a lot of friendships. And you think about what we're doing here right now. It's we found each other through bourbon. It's because of bourbon. We've all found one another and that's how you start a network. So,
well, and the funniest thing about it is I don't even know what most of the people do.
Huh?
Like I have no idea what most people in the ABV network, what they do for jobs, but I know them well.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you what they do as a job.
Right. Yeah.
That's not important.
I could tell you what they like to drink.
Right. Exactly.
You haven't gotten to that level of knowing
Yeah.
everyone yet.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Steinkamp, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
On the Facebook and Instagram at Investment Whiskey.
All right, Darren.
You can find me on Instagram at The Bourbon Adventures.
Jeff.
That can be found on Instagram, Facebook, X, and the Cigar Dojo. Jeff and Dreezy, 2 I's, 2 Z's.
Beka.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm easy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us. The ABV Barrel Shop. We've got a lot going on. We always have a lot of events and things like that. We get a lot of people that swing by the store from the industry. Sometimes they're there for events. Sometimes they're just there to say hi. So you never know who you're going to run into. So check us out online, abvbarrelshop.com. Sign up for our email distribution right there. Beka, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you're in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.